Blog Talk Radio.
We are now live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Sports Palooza Radio, everybody. I'm EJ, and I'm joined by the lovely little Lisa.
Hello, everybody. We have our next guest on the line, and hopefully Bill is with us.
Nice.
Bill, are you there?
I'm here.
Nice.
Nice to meet you, and welcome to Sports Palooza.
Nice, Bill.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Bill Schultz, you are the CEO of a company called AlignMed.
Yeah.
And tell our audience a little bit about the company and what you're in the process of doing.
This is cool.
Sure. Okay. My background, I spent 30 years in orthopedic research and distribution of implants and tools to try to help people get back together, especially sports medicine. Then I had my own spine injury, and the idea of drug treatment, physical therapy, and possibly surgery wasn't too enticing. So I started looking around. Like I said, it was about 10 years ago, and I saw that some people were doing some skin taping. And it's elastic skin taping. I had that done to me on my shoulder in the middle of my spine, and I didn't know what was going on. It felt kind of good. Okay. And in fact, what it made me do, I listened to it. As a researcher, I was trying to figure out why this was helping me. And then that led into a whole thing about, well, it's activating my muscles. And then my thought is, can you get this kind of elastic banding in a garment so it's easier to use? Because I had to go to the doctor. The doctor put stuff on me. It would stick on me. It would feel bad. It was weird in the shower. I don't know if it lasted a day or half a day. All that stuff. So that's where it came from. So, and as a researcher, we put together a team of physicians, put together some money, started patenting the whole thing, because as it turns out, skin taping isn't patented. None of it's patented. People just thought it was a good idea and started doing it. By the way, now it's mainstream. Okay.
Wow.
And it's not just for athletes.
This material is now in a shirt. It looks like a physical shirt that you could wear under a jacket or, just going to work on a daily basis, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's correct. It's so we call it neurobands. We call the skin taping concept neurobands. And we strategically mount it in a garment. But it's scientifically done. We did a thing called muscle map, identified the kinetic activity of muscles from your arms and your legs to your core. And then we laid the bands into the garment and bioengineered the garments so it would fit on you, be comfortable. Yeah, you can wear it discreetly under your clothing, but we're also designing this so you can wear it as gear and when you work out or gear when you go to work. We actually call it the workout you wear, because you can sit at your computer or you can drive a car or fly, and this thing will give you a workout while you're sitting there.
So it's like Under Armour on steroids.
Well put. We try to. What we try to do, this has a lot to do with athletes. Okay, here the LA Lakers are a great example. It's as an apparel, it's an Adidas club. They have the Adidas brand in there, so they don't want any other brands in there.
Right.
Whether it's called AlignMed or XYZ, in fact, they're even contracted. But our argument was, and since then the NFL has gone along with it, so has the PGA, MLB, NBA, MLB, is that this is not a garment. In fact, this is the only garment of its kind that has been submitted to the FDA for approval. And the FDA classified it as a Class 1 medical device. So in other words, they didn't classify it as a garment. They classified it as a medical device to activate muscles and help joints and postures. Once it became FDA approved as a medical device, no other big brand labels could keep it out of the locker rooms.
And what's cool? It's not just like an after injury type thing where you notice some pain, and you can be wearing these before you even have anything coming on. It prevents injuries, so you can actually wear this as you go to try to prevent something from happening, not just after it happens. So that's what I think is cool about it.
I think that's really cool too, and that's a big deal to us. Okay.
Yeah.
We listen. The worst thing that can happen to an athlete is not that he lost that game. That's bad. But if he's injured, all bets are off.
Yeah.
You know, the fans are going to suffer from that. The gate is going to go down, and this guy might not be around next year, or maybe he's around next year and he's 20% less than what he was before. So what we say is what's really important to prevent an injury is be concerned about your form and your muscle fatigue. Okay, so our whole idea with these bands is to have you pay attention that your shoulders and your hips and your neck and your spine is in the right place. It's got a biomechanical support. It does that. But as big a deal as that is that it has a feedback, a biofeedback. It makes you think about your posture, and you don't have to do anything except wear the garment.
You know, when I first heard about this, I was a little reluctant because I have a metal rod on my back. I had scoliosis, and I thought, wow, you know, something that could keep me in line that's not this rod. It just was hard to believe. I'm being completely honest with our listeners out there. So this is actually what I did. Your PR person, Don, and I have been communicating for a while, and I asked him to send us one. My daughter she's 21, and she has posture problems. She has shoulder issues, and she has a lot of pain. She goes to physical therapy. She, it's chronic. It's something that probably will stay with her for a while or have to be treated on a regular basis. So I thought she would be the perfect person to try this and see how it works.
We have our own guinea pigs.
Yeah, we have our own guinea pigs. So you're probably sitting there going, oh, my God, what did she think? So she's at work right now, so I asked her to write up something based on her wearing this. And this is what she said. She said, it does exactly what it set out to do. It straightened my posture. She said, though the rubber-esque bottom of the shirt occasionally snagged on sweatpants, it pulls your spine into near-perfect alignment, at least from what I can tell, and kept it there for hours. She said the only downfall for her was that wearing it for a long period of time, she wasn't used to being that straight. So she recommended that people wear it in smaller increments and increase it until they're working at wearing it full time, just so that you're not, in case you don't want to give up on wearing it right away. But she said it worked, and this is a girl who has therapy 2 times a week and is in chronic pain because of her shoulders. So well done, because I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Your daughter is why we do this. In my own experience, when somebody suggested to me that skin taping could work, okay, and I'm in mainstream researching, that skin taping could help me with my spine, my lower back, with a disc protruding. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm looking at an X-ray here, and I got a disc popping out, and you're going to tape me? That's not going to do it. But I would do anything, okay, because I had pain. Okay, so when I could feel it, and then when we put straps on garments, something was going on. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it's everything your daughter said. And I was the biggest skeptic. I'm like, okay, this is crazy, but something was going on. I listened to it, and that was 10 years ago. I've never had the surgery. I've never taken the drugs. She's right. You wear it intermittently. It has a carryover effect because once you start rebuilding your posture, you don't need it as much. However, in the beginning, if you got poor, when you start using these to stretch your postural muscles, it'll fatigue you. People say, they call in all the time and they say, listen, I wore this thing for 2 hours and it feels like I'm beat up, like I just worked out. And we go, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That means it's your
that's
daughter.
what she said, is she was getting sore at the beginning when she first started wearing it, like she had been working out, which she thought was really interesting. Now, we're not paid to say this.
No.
You're not one of our sponsors or anything like that. So tell us a little bit, because it takes a lot to get a product to market. What did you experience when you first finally brought it to the market? Was it easy, and how many years did it take you to get to that point?
It was incredibly difficult to make, for starters, because it's a form-fitting garment. We had to injure this thing where it fits all kinds of bodies. Right. So we had to use special kind of materials that would not only give you the stretch, but they would conform to your body without making it uncomfortable. Okay, so that part of it was really difficult. And then we researched it to see, so we could be the first garment to actually validate in a clinic, in a research environment, that this functional apparel actually did something. Not just say, you wear this, you'll do better, your blood flow will be better, you'll recover faster. All of that stuff has no backing. It's just anecdotal evidence. Okay, so when we did come out then, we said, and it's pretty much right now, we've sold over 80,000 units. But most of that is because doctors have recommended it to people. Now we want to go out to people like your daughter, okay, and say, hey, you got to try this thing out. First off, we run into huge skepticism because, snake oil is sold everywhere, okay, and people look at it and they go, wait a second, that ain't going to do anything. And then I say, wait a second, hold on a second, the FDA approved this thing. And they read our data and they said, yes, it does. Okay, so then there's that. Then what happens is the next thing, before anybody tries it on, they compare it to what's out there. Oh, that's like an Under Armour. But your Under Armour costs $95, and I can go out and get a nice Under Armour with pretty colors for $65. So, that kind of prejudice has really stopped us. What wins it is when somebody puts it on. Okay, we call it the try-on test. But once you put it on and you get a feel for it, this is no Under Armour or Nike or a compression garment, whatever it was. In fact, we despise the word compression because we don't want to squeeze you. Okay? We want bands on your muscles that help the muscles and force the muscles and help performance.
And that's what I want to ask you too. There's things about, like, you make comments about, well, I'm healed now, I'm fixed, there's nothing wrong with me, I don't need to wear this anymore. But do you still suggest, like, wearing it once in a while, like are there do's and don'ts when it comes to keeping this going and have it be a part of your life?
Yeah. Okay, first off, what people don't recognize, your posture is something that's going to stick with you your whole life. And you should never stop practicing posture. People practice good nutrition all the time, not just on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Okay? Likewise, you have to practice posture all the time. Here's where the difficulty comes. There's really not a lot of products for it. There's certainly no drugs for it. There's no surgical procedure for it. And it's really hard for somebody to sit at their desk and think about what their posture is or what the movements they're making are. So the beauty of this thing, and we didn't know this when we first started out, but now after our research and all of our users, the fact that these controlled tensions make you think about your posture is about as big a deal as it gets. And then so what you do is you listen to your body.
You have other products in addition to the shirt, though, right?
Shoulders and knees and
right.
And a lot more.
Yep. Okay, we think one of our biggest ones, we just released a woman's bra called AlignMed, AlignMed. Okay, what it does, it's the first bra to support the woman's front from the back. So what it is, the elastic is on the scapula, and then it brings the scapula together, and then the woman's top, her torso, is pulled over her center of gravity. So it's good. It's great for supporting the breast, but it's also for supporting the whole entire body. You feel it right away. And our clinical tests on athletes and people who suffer pain are astronomical. In a pair of shorts, we have this thing called Corelign, Corelign. And what we did, we built a pair of shorts that are form-fitting, but they connect to the front of the pelvis and pull it back towards the gluteus muscles, towards the back, to help straighten out the pelvis. Okay, and then in 2 weeks we're releasing a pair of socks called the Vascular Swirl. So in other words, it's not a gradient compression that squeezes from the bottom and then works its way up. It swirls around the bottom of the leg like a candy cane. And everything that we test and vet is compared to what's out there and sometimes compared to what's not out there, because there isn't anything out there to compare it to. But it's in a category. Our tops. We're not stopping with this. We're working with the New York Giants on a pair of gloves to stimulate a coordinated hand work. We're continuing work on the feet. We're doing balance work at the big sports medicine clinic in Los Angeles called Curl and Job Clinic. We had a number of we're working on vascular issues with the USC School of Medicine. So we're out there to create an entirely new category of apparel.
Nice. I'm going to make my comment first before you do. My comment is this. You better hurry up with those glove things for the Giants, because of the way they've been playing, they help them catch the ball. I had to get that in.
I was just going to say, I think Bill might have to be arrested for steroid use because he has Under Armour on steroids, sports bras on steroids, bicycle shorts on steroids. Bill, what are you doing over there, man?
I can't wait till they try to come and get me for that.
Right? No doubt, man.
Well, before you came on the air, I found this really interesting statistic, and I know that this is not specifically geared just to the back, but I read Americans spend $50 billion each year on things relating to back pain.
With a B.
Right, and billion with a B. And that's just for the more easily identified costs that they could come up with, just to try to cure back pain. Yeah. And to think about the fact that a lot of it has to do with your posture. We're slumped over computers, we're playing video games, we're driving, and we're just not taking care of posture. This is the basis of it. That's why it was really interesting to see this product. I'm glad you actually brought it to our audience.
And we can help anybody. We have the money-back guarantees. I tell you, there's another thing, too, that's very interesting. We've had such good success that insurance companies are actually approving some of the products for reimbursement. Now, when does that ever happen?
That's very cool. And also, before we let you go, what's going on with you and Peyton Manning over here, man? I want to hear more about the whole Peyton Manning story.
So the trainers from the Broncos started ordering a year or so ago posture shirts for Peyton Manning. We said, wow, that's wonderful. Hope this goes well. Well, since then, there's been about 10 or 12 of them. Some of them we had to custom make with long sleeves and other things for him. And per the trainers, he loves the product. I guess I'm not a big enough shot to get a hold of Peyton, and I know there's concerns about athletes having contracts with other brands. And I'll tell you, I try to encourage so heavily that we really don't compete with a Nike or an Adidas or an Under Armour or Reebok, nor do we want to. Those people are in a different category with their products. And so I hope someday we're going to be able to get Peyton's attention. I know that, I can tell you that the San Francisco Giants and the Kansas City Royals both use the posture shirt. I can tell you that because the doctors are on record for telling us that they do. And Kansas City Royals, at the beginning of the year, ordered over 60 of these. So something's going on.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. I'll tell you, I would like to encourage, here's my altruistic approach to athletes. Okay, and you brought up like injury rates and staying in the game and stuff like that. Athletic injuries, no matter how hard we're trying, are at an all-time high. The musculoskeletal injuries are at all-time highs. So why is that happening? I mean, people look pretty healthy and they're getting faster, they're getting bigger. Maybe that's part of the problem. But here's what our thing is. Okay, a lot of students, a lot of athletes, a lot of college people are spending so much time sitting down or with the IT equipment or their computers or gaming or texting and cell phones, etc., that all of that training that they do gets undone by a lot of this computer and gaming work. So our thing is, it's just not what you do on the field. You got to be really careful about your body off the field. And I would tell athletes, we tell athletes all the time, we don't care if you wear this in your practice or in your game. This might be the best thing to wear before the game, though, and after the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much. It's really amazing how the digital age has affected people's diets, people's posture, people's attention span. I mean,
my son has he's getting shoulder pain. He's a tuba player, so I'm sure that has something to do with it, but he's also a video gamer, and his shoulders, they're just not great. So he's going to be the next one I'm going to be moving this on to. So
you can be on the first name with Bill.
Absolutely. So our listeners know your website again is AlignMed.com, and you can find out all the information on all the different products you have out there. And Bill, we want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing this product with us. It's great. I love it. And if you hopefully you'll get some sales from us, which would be cool. Our listeners are picking up on this. And thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, you guys. Really appreciate it. Okay.
All right. Take care, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I like them.
Yeah. And I was a little hesitant, but that's why I wanted to have the product come in. I don't do that with all the products, but this one I did, and it really did work.
So many athletes are using it.
Absolutely.